Alright, welcome to another video. Today we're back at Charlie at Howard's and we're going to be renovating this front lawn, all with the Alex Sterling and the various attachments. But before we can crack on with that, we've got the mower ready to go to give this a rotary cut, just to bring the height down a little bit and pick up some of the debris that's under the tree. So let's do it. Alright, so we've got the hater ready to go. We're on setting number 2. Because this is really firm, so we can do that because I've been cutting it on number 2 as the minimum all year and then cutting it even shorter with the cylinder. So we can just see it's just tipped over the edge in terms of colour, so we're going to start trying to get that colour back, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to cut it first like we said, and then that's going to pick up all these pods that I've been dropping off this Acer Crimson King. They're dropping loads. I put some weed killer around that camellia the other day and that's all killed off nicely. So yeah, so we just need to get some of that lustre back because it's just lost its shine. So that's what we're going to be doing today in essence. But first of all, the rotary cut, so let's go. Okay, so that's the rotary cut done. Let's see up close what we're dealing with. So on the whole, looks alright, just looks a little dry, and that's just because we've had loads of dry weather this week and I only managed to water it once. So it definitely needs a good water today after we've finished, but we'll get that done. So what we'll do now is we'll go and show you what we're going to do next with the Alex Sterling. Okay, so these are the 3 attachments we're going to be using today. First of all, we're going to be going on with the new groomer cartridge. 27 blades, all got little tip points on, which are not going to go into the ground that much. They're just going to ride across the surface, although today I am going to go a little bit deeper than usual because I really want to get into this because it's not had any treatment of this kind since we were last here and we did a video probably about 6 weeks ago. Then when we've done that, we're going to go over with the scarifying attachment, and this will rake out anything that's not been able to get out, but this doesn't enter the soil at all. This will just groom over the surface as well, and this will drag out anything, like I said, that hasn't, but also it'll pick up anything that's dropped out of the box or hasn't been able to be thrown into the box. So that's a good thing, like the brush attachment, but this will grab out as well. And then we'll finish with a cylinder cut, and then we'll get on with some products. So let's go. So what I've done is I've just tried doing a little bit of verticutting on the lawn on left hand side on number 10, but it just wasn't deep enough. So what I've done is I've just dropped it down to the white side on the right at 0, and this is the minimum depth that really should go on with the cartridges. But remember, when you've finished, always put it back up to where you want to be on the cutting side, most importantly, or else you'll scalp your lawn. So let's see what we get out on that, and if we need to, we can drop it down even further. But what we don't want to do is start down on 10 and realise we're too deep and then the damage is done. Let's do it in increments downwards and then there's no issues. Okay, so I've just done a little bit with the verticutter halfway, and I just wanted to show you how good it looks under the tree this year. This is the best it's looked like ever. I know we've had like only 18 months of this lawn, and before that we had turf, but that deteriorated quite quickly over here for numerous reasons. One, watering didn't get done as often because I was here on the job full time, but when you leave it to the customer sometimes things don't get done and then it ends up deteriorating. But because I'm on this now full time in terms of I'm the only one who does anything on it, I can manage it as best I want and no mishaps will happen. So yeah, looking really good. I can't believe how thick it is under here, even right under the tree. As we head towards the border, a little bit threadbare, a little bit, but definitely the best it's looked under here. Strong, green, healthy, no problem. So let's get the rest done. And I'm actually thinking, you know, I'm so happy with what I've pulled out so far. I'm going to do a double pass. I'm going to go up and down with the verticutter in as well, and then just do one pass with the scarifier. Look what I've pulled out so far, absolutely minging. I know you'll say, oh, here he goes again. But honestly, I didn't know all that were in there. I knew there'd be some, but I didn't think there'd be this much. It's absolutely thick. And then we've hardly got any like green in there. If this was like crystal maze and it was in the dome, would just be like -1,000,000 gold because we just picked up so many silver. It would be no crystal or any days out for us. We'd be literally going home with our tails between our legs, having been beaten by the dome. So let's give it another pass and we'll kind of see how much comes out on the second pass. So that's the second pass done, and we've pulled out just roughly the same amount. But as I first started at this top end over here, it was just so brown what was coming out. I'm almost like embarrassed as what's come out. It's so dirty. I almost feel like, have you ever hired the rug doctor from the supermarket and you kind of walk out with your head down in shame, like it's not for me, it's not for me. You're almost like, it's almost like an apology. So that's how I feel right now. You know, like people looking at you going, oh, you dirty git, you've got dirty carpets. Well, I've got a dirty lawn today, so I need to hire the lawn doctor out, which is over there, and get all this out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over with the scarifier now, and then we're going to go on back on with the rotary, because the grass is quite long actually. You know, it's like when we get that verticutter out and lift that grass up, you actually realise how long it is, and as obviously you keep rolling the same way, your grass starts to grow sideways. And then we've stood it back up and it is actually at its true length now. So we'll get back on number 2, we'll bring it down, then a cylinder cut, and then the products. Okay, so we're done with the verticutting attachment. What I'm going to do now is just raise it up because it won't come out otherwise. It's very important that you raise it up somewhat because it's so low it'll just get stuck. So you just lift these 2 green tabs up. I made that look harder than it actually was. You see how it lifts out, and then you can just get the whatever attachment is going back in, nice and light, scarifying attachment, in, back in, and down, done, and then the grass bag back on, so we're good to go. Now I'll lower it back down, probably to 0 again, on the white side, which is the right hand side, and then we're good to go. There is a bit more resistance with the scarifying attachment, because it's working in a different way. You've got those little springs of metal which are digging in all the way across, whereas the verticutter is spinning that way, like that. So you've not got the same resistance, just a little bit harder. But just look what we've pulled out just after those 2 passes. So we've already took 2 boxes out with the verticutter, and now we've got on with the scarifier. It's actually taken out, probably going to take out more, to be honest. Okay, so we've got 2 boxes out on the scarifier attachment as well, all the same stuff, but we've still got a lawn. So what makeup of the lawn is rubbish to actually nice grass? I just don't know. Look at that, you wouldn't think we'd even been on, but yet we have. We took all this rubbish out. But on the battery, we've used, I mean, we would have used part of that first bar with everything else, don't get me wrong, so I didn't start the scarifying on a full battery, but it has used probably 2.5 bars off this battery, and that's just because that scarifier is actually causing resistance, because like I said before, it's digging in the ground a bit more because of those prongs, so it's draining the battery more because it's having to work harder to get itself along. So always keep that in mind. If you've got low charge, give your battery a charge before you start scarifying. Now we're back on with the hater, still on number 2 again, but because we've taken all that thatch out, we've now raised the height of the grass, if you like, and it's actually now stood up. So we need to go back on 2, and this will reduce the height back down again. Okay, so that's the rotary cut done. You see how short we look now as to where we were before? Ridiculous. Can't believe it. So we'll just go on now on the cylinder, and And what this will do is, because we've gone on with that rotary and taken quite a bit off, if we just leave it uncut with the cylinder, it's going to look pretty chewed tomorrow. So we just go on with the cylinder now to polish the tips up so they stay nice and clean tomorrow and they don't look like they've been chewed with my blunt hater blade. Alright, that's not very often I turn up at a job which looks alright and then scarify and verticut and cut the hell out of it, and it actually turns out looking better than when I first started. And that's this long, but that's a testament to this grass seed. It really is good stuff. So what we'll do is we'll get the equilibrium on now, get some liquid products on in the Ultimate Summer Pack, Dan Summer Secret, Orbit, Slow Grow, Grace and Stella. Give it a good watering and then that is this job done. So we're just going on with the Equilibrium granular fertiliser at 29 on the spreader. Just thought I'd show you before I put the mower away. We use 3 bars to do all that work with the cylinder lawnmower, the verticutter and the scarifying attachment. Before we go, I'll just show you around the back. We'll be doing some work on this very soon. I've not quite hit the heights of last year, this year with this lawn, I'm not sure why. But it still looks good, I'm not complaining. But we've just not had it as good as in previous years, but we can sort that. Okay, so I'm just giving this a quick water in now. As you can see, the Dan Summer Secret already kicking in with that iron content and with that double strength nitrogen in there at 13.2%, we're really going to get a nice green up alongside the Equilibrium. We put the liquids on to give us an instant hit, and then the Equilibrium is going to kick in like 10 to 14 days, and in 14 days this is going to look really good. And that brings us on to another job that I'm on at the minute. I've done a 14-day video which I started 2 weeks ago, so I'll be doing that in the next couple of days to show you the results of that, and it is absolutely fantastic. And that is at the sheep job in the middle lawn, where last year I dug out the little hollow, filled it in with some gravel, then put the turf back. I've made that lawn look absolutely fantastic, and I'll show you the results of the drainage work we did with the auger as well. So look forward to that one. So I will see you there next week on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert. See you soon. Just can't believe how quickly the lawn's greened up. It's absolutely fantastic.